Alright, guys, I'm back here to talk about Michigan's 38-21 loss to the Indiana Hoosiers this week. First, so Michigan hadn't lost to Indiana since 1987. 33 years. That's a lot longer than I've been alive. And Indiana has played us tough a lot over recent years. They took us to overtime a couple of years. So losing to them finally doesn't surprise me. As bad as as good as our record was against them. But man, all right, let's get into this. So they lose 38-21. Michigan comes out. Oh man, where do I even start? God, this is terrible. So I've been alive since 2000, 2020, 2000. I've been alive, and I think that defensively, this is the worst team I've ever seen them. This is the worst I've ever seen them play. I'm just all over the place so far. My bad. Just waking back up. I stayed up 22 hours because I worked night shift, so I stayed up 22 hours to watch this game. And they come out and they just get absolutely dominated again from start to finish, which is crazy because that's exactly what happened last week, dude. It's so frustrating. This week, I mean, more the same. Michigan was able to stop the run, but gets shredded in the pass by Michael Penix Jr. He threw for 342. Was it 342, I believe? Yeah. I want to say it was 342. Yep, 342, 3 touchdowns, a couple gimme interceptions that were dropped by Michigan defenders, of course. But what was it, like 5 offsides penalties on this defense today on the D line. Two of those plays by themselves went for deep ball touchdowns, and then they another one I believe extended their drive. They were able to put good drives together on our defense. And a couple third and longs that change this game if we get off the field and we just can't do it. They find the open hole. We were all clamoring for zone coverage, and like Don Brown himself, he mixes it in, but the most basic garbage way you possibly could, doesn't disguise it at all. He's gotta go. I'm gonna touch on those guys at the end, but he has lost his touch, man. His defense, I think he's been there, 40 years? His defense was so exciting to watch, but as much as everybody's been saying it, the Brady Hoke recruits that we had might have just made this defense look a lot better, or him as a defensive coordinator look a lot much better than he actually is, because it was exciting, the press man, the DBs were really good, we got good pressure, and that's why we were so successful. But now it's like, the defensive line is terrible. I know Aiden Hutchinson goes down, but this is the University of Michigan. We gotta have a better defensive lineman. We gotta have a good number 2 defensive lineman. We just don't. It's insane. The D-line recruiting has been terrible, as well as the defensive backs, and it shows. It shows. Vincent Gray had I don't know. He gave up a couple big plays. He's not a number 1. He can't be a number 1. He can't. I don't understand why they just let him stay out there. I was talking to a couple of my buddies on Twitter, and playing defensive back at Michigan would be the hardest job in the world. Honestly, would not want to do it. Incredibly difficult in that scheme, and it's got to change. It has to, because it's not working. But so. I'll get into Michigan stats. So, Joe Milton, he played terrible. Couldn't get the offense going today. He ends up with 18 for 34, 344, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. His 2 interceptions, 1 heartbreaking, back-breaking 10-point game. Michigan gets the ball back, gaining momentum, and he just doesn't see the DB and throws it right to him. I'm literally screaming, "What are you doing?" Before I see the replay, and there was a receiver in the area, but he just doesn't see the DB, so that's an easy interception for them. And then I believe they score after that, and then the game's pretty much over. But his second pick was we were down 17 at that point. 6 minutes to go, and he just tried to make something happen. O-line had to replace both tackles today, um, which is a very hard job to do, especially if you're trying to replace a guy like Jalen Mayfield, who's going to be a NFLer in next year's draft. Man, let me tell you about these rushing stats. As much as I praise these guys in the preview that I did for week 1, listen to these stats. Haskins, 6 for 19. Our best rusher of the day, 6 for 19. One more time. 6 for 19. Give me a fucking break, dude. Holy God, these guys are terrible. Next up, Chris Evans, 3 for 5. Okay. Zach Charbonnet, supposed to be the starting running back, 1 for 4. And then you had Blake Corum, electrifying freshman from week 1, 2 rushes, -3 yards, got involved late in the passing game a little bit, but running backs were terrible. I think they ended up with a total of like 23 yards with the negative loss, with like some of the negative losses. Atrociously bad. I was praising these guys a lot, and they look terrible. A lot of halfback inside zone still, which makes you think Harbaugh has a hand in this offense. They just, oh God, they're so fucking bad, dude. This is crazy to me. Let's move on to the receivers. Ronnie Bell, the only one that showed any type of heart in this game today, had a great game. 6 receptions, 149 yards, and a touchdown. He looked great. Him and Joe Milton had a good connection. Like I said, he played pretty poorly. In terms of just getting the offense moving, he couldn't really do it. His stats looked like good, but they were all in garbage time really, or when they were just trying to pass to keep Michigan in the ball game. Our next best receiver was Cornelius Johnson. He had a phenomenal catch for a touchdown. He ends up with 4 receptions for 82 yards and a touchdown. Zach Charbonnet had 3 receptions for 28 yards. Chris Evans had 1 for 23. Eubanks had 1 for 22. Tight ends played terrible. Let's talk about those for a second, and I'm talking about Eubanks. Couple drops, just abysmal tight end play. Ali can't catch to save his life, honestly. He is really bad. I can't believe that they would play him over Eubanks, but I got nothing. So, there's really the offense. And then defense, like I said, penalties killed us. Offsides leading to touchdowns. 3rd and longs, can't get off the field. You got it. Like, Michigan in the past, 3rd and 9, and you're getting off the field. And we couldn't stop with 3rd and 15, 3rd and 12. Just terrible. Hats off to Indiana. Tom Allen has his team ready to play this year. And I can't say the same about Harbaugh, honestly. Tom Allen has beaten Penn State, which was a great game by him. And he also beat us this year. So it's already a great looking year for Indiana. And Michigan drops to a 1-2 record with a primetime game supposed to be next up against Wisconsin. But they are in COVIDville right now with, I believe, 20 plus guys on that team, coaching, and just the program in general having COVID. Puts the game really in jeopardy. But yeah, Michigan has looked the worst in these last 2 weeks that I've seen in years. So, Harbaugh's last year's contract, I don't think there's a way he saves his job unless he beats Ohio State. But the way this record is looking, we're looking at like 3-5, honestly, and They both at that point, if they don't get fired, I don't know what I'm gonna do. As always, it's Go Blue though. I'm gonna watch them forever. Love them to death. But another terrible loss, and yeah, maybe if we don't play this week, we'll get a good weekend to improve. But these guys are young; they'll get it done one way or the other. Go Blue. I'll see y'all later. Peace.